Hey, good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing today? How is everyone doing today? Hey, this is Gregory Wiles coming live to you from Houston, Texas, with this inspirational morning walk. I don't know if you guys can see out now. You can't see outside here, but it's raining all week. We scheduled to get a lot of rain here. It's just pouring, so I'll sit in my vehicle today and not much walking and get done in this rain, but I'll find somewhere else to get my exercise in. Yes, but for first time listeners, this is Gregory Wiles from Houston. I just get some exercise in the mornings and I'll just share my thoughts with you guys, whatever I'm inspired to talk about that day. Good morning, Renita. Good morning. How are you doing today? Hope it's a great day. Hope you having better weather. Good morning, Jillian. Hope you guys having nice sunny weather here. We having rain all week. We're gonna be having lots of rain, but it's all good. So I'll have to find the next way to get my exercise today. But yes, guys. Oh, Grenada, you guys have no rain, high 80s and 90s. Well, that's great. You guys having the Houston, Texas weather now, right there. That is Texas weather. That's good. That's good. Miss Tracy Hammer, how are you doing this morning? Hope all is well. Hope all is well. All right. Yes. So today is one of those days, right? I had something else prepared to talk about, and when I wake up at probably about 6:20 or around that this morning, God said, "Hey, this is what I want you to talk about." Right? So sometimes when I tell you guys I want to do something, but if I'm led to do it, I can do it if I'm led to. Because sometimes I say I'm gonna do this, and then He give me a different message. So today, He gave me this message, not knowing who it's for and why. So the question is, can a wicked leader be anointed by God? Could someone wicked be anointed by God? You might see some leader out there, some person out there, and you might want, it might be a leader, it might be a boss right now, and they're doing, or a president or a country or whatever, and they do, and you like, man, how this person get here? The question is, could that person be anointed by God? You hear, don't touch God's anointed. Or you see somebody doing something so, this leader is so corrupt, they're so wicked. But the question is, can that person be anointed by God? Right? Can that person be anointed and put into the position by God? So let's look quickly here and answer that question. Let's look and answer that question. Let's first start with 1 Kings 19:15 through 20. 1 Kings 19:15 through 20, right? This is when Elijah, that's with a J, Elijah, he was running from Jezebel, right? Remember when he killed all of Jezebel, the wicked prophets, all of those wicked prophets that they had, he killed them. And then the Jezebel promised she's gonna kill him. She just said, "Oh, by this time tomorrow, she threatened him to kill his life." So he was running, right? He was running. And God appeared to him while he was getting away from the city, right? So I can pick it up from 1 Kings 19. We read from 15 through 20. Then the Lord said to him, that's Elijah with the J, "Go back the way you came and go to the desert of Damascus. When you get there, anoint Hazael over Aram, king over Aram. Also anoint Jesus, son of Nimshi, king over Israel. And anoint Elisha, son of Saraphat from Abel Meholah, to succeed you as prophet." Right? So he gave Elijah this. He said, "Anoint these three people. I want you to anoint these three people. Hazael over Aram, the king over Aram. Anoint Jesus, the king over Israel. And anoint Elisha to succeed you as the prophet," right? So he gave him this assignment: anoint these three people. Jesus will put to death any who escape the sword of Hazael, and Elijah will put to death any who escape the sword of Jesus. He said, "Yet I reserve 7,000 in Israel, all whose knees have not bowed down to Baal, and whose mouths have not kissed him." So he's saying these three people here, they're going to kill all of the people who's worshiping the other gods. And it's Israelites too, right? His own chosen people. But these three leaders here who he appointed, the first one gonna kill some wicked people who escape him. The next one is gonna kill them, and who escape from the. So he appoint these three. So all these wicked people who he appoint, who he want to get rid of, between these three leaders, they can get rid of them, right? Stay with me now. So Mr. Elijah did not complete his assignment. The only thing he did was appoint Elisha to succeed him. So you're wondering why he's not going to listen to God. Why this man of God, one of God's great prophet, in other words, did not, God specifically tell him go back and do this, right? But if we read on, he did not complete. He did not appoint those other two kings, the king over Aram and the king over Israel. He did not appoint them. And you might try to know why he did not complete the task that God gave him. Anyhow, so let's go on to 2 Kings 8, 7 through 15 and see possibly why he probably did not complete the task that God gave him. He died before we do it. So now this task comes down to his successor, which is Elisha. So 2 Kings 8, 7 through 50 we can read here now, right? So Elisha went to Damascus, same place where God had sent Elijah to go to appoint these people. Elisha went to Damascus, the capital of Aram, where King Ben-Hadad lay sick. When someone told the king that the man of God had come, the king said to Hazael, this is the one who we tell him to appoint king over Aram, right? This is this king's assistant, right? Take a gift to the man of God, then tell him to ask the Lord, will I recover from this sickness? So he's sick. The man of God come to town. He sent his assistant and say, hey, usually the custom was to take a gift to the man of God, right? Ask him if I can recover. Tell him to ask God if I can recover from this sickness, because he was really sick. So Hazael loaded down 40 camels with the finest products of Damascus as a gift to Elisha. He went to him and said, your servant Ben-Hadad, the king of Aram, have sent me to ask, will I recover from this illness? And Elisha replied, go and tell him you will surely recover. He said, go and tell him you'll surely recover from the sickness. God said you recover from the sickness. But actually the Lord has shown me that he will surely die. So Elisha get a little confused here. Elisha said, God, what's going on? You tell me this man can recover from the sickness, but you're telling me he's going to surely die. Elisha got a little confused there. The man can recover from the sickness, but he can surely die. Then Elijah stared at Hazael with a fixed gaze until Hazael became uneasy. Then the man of God started weeping. Elijah started weeping. He started crying. He just started staring at this man and started making this man feel uneasy, and he started crying. Right? So he said, God tell him your boss can recover from this sickness, but he can surely die. And then all of a sudden, the man of God started to stare at this young man and started crying. Then the man said, what's the matter, my Lord? Hazael asked him, what's the matter? What's the matter? Why are you crying? What up? What's up? Why are you looking at me like this? I started crying. What's going on? Elisha replied, I know the terrible things you will do to the people of Israel. So God giving Elisha a peek here now and telling him what he wants him to do and giving him a peek of this is what this man is going to do when you anoint him. And maybe this is why Elijah didn't want to do it, because he probably get this insight here and be like, no, God, I ain't doing this. You probably know what you're doing here. So he tell the man, Elijah replied, I know the terrible things you will do to the people of Israel. You will burn their fortified city, kill their young men with the sword, dash their little ones to the ground, and rip open their pregnant women. So God showed him, look. But Hazael responded, how could a nobody like me accomplish such a great thing? Elijah answered, the Lord has shown me that you are going to be the next king of Aram. So the Lord sent him to complete what Elijah didn't want to do, make him king. But then the Lord also showed him this, when I make this man king, this is what he's going to do to my own people. So that's why Elijah started crying. Because he said, man, I got to appoint you as king to kill my own people, right? I got to appoint you king to kill my own people. And here what he did. And then Hazael replied, he told me that when he go back, when Hazael left Elijah and went back to the king, the king asked him, what did Elijah tell you? And Hazael replied, he told me that you will surely recover. That was true. You will surely recover. But the next day, Hazael took a blanket, soaked it in water, and held it over the king's face until he died. Then Hazael became the next king of Aram. So did that answer your question? Can a wicked leader be anointed by God? And we're saying, don't touch God's anointed. Don't touch God's anointed, right? But can a wicked leader be anointed by God? Here you see, Mr. Elijah did not want to do what God asked him, because God was asking him to appoint a wicked leader, a leader who's going to murder people, severely murder people. But God was bringing punishment on his own people, and he appointed those leaders to wipe them out. Remember, he said, but you can reserve the 7,000 people who did not worship other gods, right? So, guys, I'm saying this to say, that's why he said you got to pray for leaders, right? Because you never know. And it could, in this case here, was to bring punishment on his own people. But in sometimes you got a wicked leader there. Maybe he's working in your favor. Maybe they're helping you to strengthen areas you weaken. Maybe they're pushing you out of the place that you in. Maybe because of the pressure that they're putting you on, they're going to make you become a better leader. It could show you what not to do as a leader, or it's going to force you to do things and push you into situations, and it's all because of your own development. So the wicked leader that you're complaining about right now could be God's anointed. It's, God's anointed. God said he appoint leaders, right? He appoint them. As wicked as they be, he appoint them, right? So, and I can tell you a story about myself. I was doing a little Bible study kind of deal, and it said, choose someone that you're going to pray for a week. Just choose someone. I can't remember what's the full instruction. So choose someone and pray for a week. When I think about it, a boss that I had that really in the end of before I left had really, his goal was to fire me. Let me put it that way. So the pressure was on but I go through immense pressure for a year, right? And that's the person come to my mind for me to pray for God. So I want you to pray for this man. I was like, okay, but you remember all the things that went on? Yep, that's the man I want you to pray for. So he probably was giving me this message here. Who knows, this message was even for me. That's my anointed. That's my anointed. Even though he put you through that and all the wicked things he did against you, he's my anointed. He get you out of there, force you out of there, and I might have never been here where I am today if it wasn't for him. So God tell me, no, go and pray for the man. Pray for him. And I had to follow the instruction and intensely pray for him, pray for his family, and pray for everything. He said, why are you going to pray for the man? If it wasn't for what the man did, you would not have been here doing what I'm asking you to do now. You might be so comfortable and caught up in what you want to do and what you're doing, all your success that he was getting. And you might not be here to give this word to my people right now. So I want you to go and pray for that man. And I did, still praying for him. Still praying for him. Praying for him more than a week now. But I can still be praying for him. And all goes well with him and his family and everything, right, guys? So I wanted to know, God can appoint wicked people, and wicked leaders who doing a lot of stuff that we cursing them out every day. Could be his anointed, right? And don't be like Elisha right? Don't be like Elijah. Don't want to do what God asks you to do because you see this person, what they're going to do, right? So Elisha had to take on this job. God show him, this is what I got appointing this man to do. But go ahead and appoint him as king. All right, guys, so I'm going to leave it there. Not going to be too long, but digest and sleep on digest that. You can read about this story more and see how we go on and do. Right? And in 1 Chronicles 16:21-22, this is when God was talking with the Israelites when he took them out on the journey to the promised land. He said he permitted no man to do them wrong. Yes, he rebuked kings for their sake, saying, do not touch my anointed ones, and do my prophets no harm. Do not touch my anointed ones. So you see, this wicked king has a L here. He was one of those anointed that God saying, do not touch my anointed one. Do not touch. He's anointed by me to be king. Do not touch my anointed one, guys. All right, I'm going to leave that there today. Don't know who this message is for, but I'm going to leave it there today, guys. So just keep that in mind as you go about, right? Have a great, great Wednesday, and we'll talk again on Friday.